Here is my guide to the Kenner Star Wars Power of the Force collector's coins. Starting us off, we have FX7, the medical droid. Now, this coin never came packaged with FX7. I know FX7 was an action figure made by Kenner. However, Kenner just really never got around to packaging the coin with the action figure. So the coin exists, the figure exists, but they never came packaged together. Now on the back of the coin, it does read Star Wars and that Power of the Force logo. Medical droid trained in basic first aid examined Luke Skywalker after his escape from the vicious Wampa beast. May the Force be with you. And all the coins do have one thing in common. They say Star Wars and May the Force be with you. And whether the logo does change on some of the coins. Now our next one is Greedo. This is another one of the rare coins. I don't believe it came packaged with Greedo. I could be wrong on that. But this one was a mail-away coin. Now, it does say Greedo. You got Hammerhead and another Cantina alien. Nice background details on it. And, of course, on the bottom there it does say Bounty Hunter. Now let's take a look at the back of the coin. The back of this coin does say, an alien creature killed by Han Solo in the cantina at Mos Eisley when he attempted to collect the money Han Solo owed Jabba the Hutt. May the Force be with you. Once again, this coin does have the Power of the Force logo. Not really too much more to say about this coin, other than it is really, really rare. Now, how about this next coin? We have everybody's favorite bounty hunter, Boba Fett. This is an absolutely great coin, one I would love to have, but I don't. And the truth is I only have one of these coins, and I'll point that out to you when we get there. But it's got the sail barge on the back, Boba Fett holding his rifle, just great details all around on this. Really not too much to complain about, other than the fact that this coin is, once again, a very rare coin. It should be much more common than it is. But on the back it has the Power of the Force logo. The most notorious bounty hunter in the galaxy, Boba Fett tracks Han Solo and returns him to Jabba the Hutt for bounty. May the Force be with you. Now, that right there, that's just a great description of Boba Fett. A little too focused on Empire Strikes Back, I will say. But this next one, Princess Leia, the Rebel Leader. This is a great coin. You got the face of Leia, like, on most American currency. In most American currency worldwide, you have the face of the person that's on it. And then in the back, you have the Tantive 4, the Blockade Runner, whatever you call it, the hallway scene, where Leia is giving R2-D2 that message. An absolutely great scene choice for this one, and just a great coin overall. Now on the back, it does have that Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you is what it says, and, well, the description is, determined young princess who resourcefully stored the rebel escape plans in R2-D2 when Imperial forces attacked the rebel blockade runner. Now, maybe not so much escape plans, but here we have Luke Skywalker on a Tauntaun, the Hoth Luke coin. Never came with Hoth Luke, but the coin exists, Hoth Luke exists, you can pair them up. And of course it says Rebel Leader. Now, these coins are Luke Skywalker heavy. There's so many Luke coins. This is the first of many to come. However, on the back it does, of course, have the Power of the Force logo. And it does say, May the Force be with you. Now, it does read, Rebel pilot who battled the nearly invincible mammoth AT-ATs on Hoth with highly maneuverable snowspeeder. Now, they had to make these short, so you could have added a few more words in there, but a great description of what Luke Skywalker did on Hoth. Now this next coin, Bib Fortuna, this is a greatly rare coin. Extremely rare. Once again, a great image. Bib Fortuna, you got the kind of bust face of him, and then you got Jabba's palace. Now in the background, Han Solo is hanging on that wall in carbonite. It's a great choice. Beautifully designed front. Now let's take a look at the back. Gruesome looking low-life creature who served as Jabba the Hutt's confident and right-hand man. May the Force be with you. Of course, you got that Star Wars Power of the Force logo. That's a really great description of Bib Fortuna. Of course, this coin is very rare. And, well, unfortunately, I don't have this piece, although I do have a few rare pieces. This one is not in my collection. Yoda, the Jedi Master, is what we have next. Now, this coin is more so common, but still a nice coin to have, and far more rare than the more common coins, as I will call them. Yes, there are common coins in this run, believe it or not. Kind of shocking to me, though, as the kids just were not into Star Wars. Now let's take a look at the back of this one. And this one did actually come with the Yoda action figure. A small creature who dwells on the bog planet Dagobah, the former teacher of Ben Kenobi. Yoda has trained Jedi Knights for 800 years. May the Force be with you. This is the first time in this video that we are seeing that Star Wars logo. The actual one, not the Power of the Force one, but the Star Wars one. Great looking logo. Now this next one, he did also come with the pop-up saber R2-D2. R2-D2 Rebel Droid. And this is a great coin. You have R2-D2 prominent there in the front. You got Death Star 2, 2 X-Wings, and some stars behind him, along with what looks to be a Tatooine landscape. This is a great coin. I'm just going to say it right now. It's a great coin. Nothing to complain about here. It's just a great coin, and let's see if the description of R2 holds up on the back. Once again, you got the Star Wars logo. May the Force be with you. Barrel-shaped droid functions as a sophisticated computer repair and information retrieval robot. R2-D2 communicates through electronic sounds and uses C-3PO as his interpreter. Now that's a pretty spot-on description. We got our first vehicle now, the AT-AT. And the AT-AT coin, I don't know why they made vehicle coins, though. It's always been a mystery to me. Like, were the vehicles going to come with coins? That would have been really cool if they did. Of course, we did get the vehicle coins through mail-away only, of course. The AT-AT, wow. It's a great coin. The AT-AT just standing there in the front of the coin. And you got the Snowspeeder flying right behind it. I would have loved a Snowspeeder coin. That one would have been cool if they had made it. I'm not sure what that cloud is there, but let's take a look at this. The description. Of course, you got the Power of the Force logo. Dreaded armored four-legged machines manned by Imperial pilots used in attack on the rebels on Hoth. May the Force be with you. Spot-on description of the AT-AT. Really, it kind of sums it up for you. I don't know why they didn't include the Endor on there, but they were way cooler in Empire Strikes Back. Of course, now we got the TIE Fighter pilot. 2 TIE Fighters in the background, some stars, and just the headshot of the TIE Fighter pilot with... It just looks great. Nothing to complain about here. Once again, there's a theme with these. Most of them have a vehicle on them as well as the character. Not all of them, but most of them. Now, the description. Of course, you got that Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Relentless pilot of an Imperial TIE fighter who tried unsuccessfully to stop Luke Skywalker and other rebels from destroying the Death Star. That sums him up pretty good. He made the attempt, but couldn't get the job done because you can't see a thing in those helmets, we all know. Now this next one, we got our first Ewok. Last 17 Ewok, though, Paplu. Now, it's just Paplu on the card. Of course, he does have his staff in hand. A very simple coin. They could have added a few more things to this. Just a little bit more detail. And this coin would have been so much better. Because, it's not... I don't really like these boring coins where it's just the character. I like the coins where it's the character, and then you have a whole scene going on. That's just way cooler in my opinion. Now, of course, you got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Young Ewok Scout, whose love of adventure sometimes gets him and his Ewok friends into trouble. Well, we know that to be true because Paplu, he loves to ride speeder bikes. He loves it so much that when he sees four Imperial biker scouts, he'll just take their speeder bike and ride off into the forest with it. This next one, we got Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Jedi Master. Now, this is a great coin. You got Obi-Wan, you got the front, and then you got a second Obi-Wan with his lightsaber ignite, and what appears to be some sparks flying off of it. Or just illuminating. Kind of hard to tell. Either one works, though. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, great coin. Looks solid on the front. Now, let's take a look at the back. Former Jedi Knight who served in the Clone Wars long ago, Ben Kenobi teaches Luke Skywalker to utilize the Force. May the Force be with you. You got the Power of the Force logo up there. Now, I don't know why they call him. I guess they call him both. He was called both in the original movies, at least. The original trilogy. So that's what these coins are made after, but Obi-Wan, Ben. I call him Obi-Wan, but Ben also works. Now, this next one, we got another Ewok. Lumat, the Ewok Warrior. I guess there are a few shrubs in there behind him, but once again, just Lumat. The detailing is nice, and not really all too much more to say about Lumat. Now let's take a look at Lumat's description. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. This older Ewok is an expert wood carver who has used his skills to help build the Ewok village and make other Ewok utensils. May the Force be with you. Now, it says warrior, but I don't know why they changed it on the back to wood carver. But anyways, this next one is the Stormtrooper. Now, this is my exception to this one. This image is great. It just he looks like he's running at you. He looks like if they, you could take the coin and just have him pop out of the card. He looks like he's charging at you. He means business. He's holding his rifle at, kind of not quite parade rest, but he looks like he's running there. Now the back, you got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. One of the many thousands of drones of the Galactic Empire, totally dedicated to the Emperor. They carried out a reign of terror among worlds of the galaxy. May the Force be with you. Very accurate description of the Stormtrooper. This next one is very rare. The Tusken Raider. Great coin. You got the mountains in the background. The Tusken Raider, he's holding his gaffy stick. Looks like he's about to kind of jab at you with it. And, of course, on the bottom, they put the Sand People. They got both names on there. Credit to them for that. And just a great coin. I like this coin. I want this coin. Unfortunately, it is one of the rarer coins, though. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Desert nomads who inhabited the plains of Tatooine when they ambushed Luke Skywalker. He was rescued by Ben Kenobi. Pretty accurate description, I would say. Would also, say they scavenged for parts a little bit. Not as much as the Jawas, but they still did. Anyways, this next one, we got another vehicle. It's the Millennium Falcon. Great coin. You got the streak of the engines off there on the back. It looks like it's flying through the stars. You got the stars in the background. Of course, it says Star Wars on the top. And then it says Millennium Falcon. Really iconic coin here. I like this coin a lot. This one's not too hard to get, but still pretty hard to get. And, well, let's take a look at the description, shall we? Got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Han Solo's famous space vehicle used by the rebel heroes in their attacks on the Empire. Pretty accurate description. I would also... They should have made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs on there, because that was mentioned in the original trilogy. And pretty accurate description, though. I will give them that. They could have added a little more flavor to it than that. Now this next one, we got the Biker Scout. 2 Biker Scouts on there. One, you got the kind of face headshot of the Biker Scout, and then that other one, you got him riding a speeder bike off into the sunset, or wherever he may be going. Then you got a few shrubs there on the ground. Pretty good coin. I'll have to do another video of me ranking these coins, though, because I have some personal favorite coins. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Imperial soldier who patrolled the planet Endor on a speeder bike and protected the Death Star's shield generator from rebel intruders. Pretty accurate. Of course, they were not limited to Endor, but in the original trilogy they were. Of course, now we know that they did far more than just patrol Endor. But nonetheless, let's move on to our next one. Another Ewok. It's Logray. Now this one, once again, very simple coin. He just got Logray in his staff. Not too much more to the coin than that. Of course, nice detailing, though. I will say that. It's just... They could have added a few more things. They could have put the Ewok village in the background. And that's why if I have to pick one favorite Ewok coin, I'll mention that later. But let's take a look at the back. Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Trusted Ewok medicine man with his magical powers. He has the ability to save the tribe from danger. Pretty important Ewok if you can do that. These coins are real accurate descriptions. And, yeah, pretty good description. Does make up for the front a little bit. Let's take a look at the next one. One of my favorite coins, actually. The Jawas, Desert Scavengers. 3 Jawas, the Sandcrawler in the background. This is what a coin should be. I love this coin. I really want this coin. It's one of my all-time favorite coins. In the whole run, even, I will say that. In the whole run. Unfortunately, I don't own it. But it's one of the easier coins to get. In the grand scheme of things, that is. It's beautiful. Let's take a look at the back. The Star Wars logo. May the Force be with you. Furry cloaked inhabitants of Tatooine captured R2-D2 and C-3PO and sold them to Luke Skywalker's uncle. Now, of course, in the Mandalorian TV show, they were described as furry. On the coin, they are described as furry. So, there is that. Now, this next one we got, pretty rare coin, kind of staying with the Jawas theme. The Star Wars droids. You got R5-D4 and the Power Droid on there. And then you got the track of the Sandcrawler. Once again, one of my more favored coins amongst things. However, this is a very rare coin. If you get one, you're just straight up lucky, and you got a good collection of Power of the Force coins if you have this one, because this one, while not being the rarest coin, it is a rare coin. On the back, you got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Galactic robots with advanced high-tech features programmed for a variety of specified technical operations. Now, that is pretty good right there. It's a good description of the droids. Now this next one, it was released with figure, but it is still very rare. Yak Face Bounty Hunter. You got Yak Face, and then you got the panels on the sail barge in the background. Pretty simple coin, but very rare coin nonetheless. And I think just because it says Yak Face on it does jack the value up quite a bit. You could get it on card back or by mail away. Power of the Force logo, may the Force be with you. A creature with long facial hair, wearing a furry mantle seen in Jabba's throne room on the sail barge. Accurate description of Yak Face. You know, he is Yak Face. Probably in Return of the Jedi for 5 seconds or less. But nonetheless, we still got the coin. Now this next coin, the B-Wing Pilot. It's a good-looking coin. Not my favorite, but also not my least favorite. You got the B-Wing there in the background. It could have been more detailed, especially, it just looks, his face is borderline live action or cartoony. You can go either way on him, but he's got the radio down, B-Wing Pilot Rebel. Let's take a look at the description now. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Courageous rebel flyer who piloted this spectacular B-Wing fighter during the final rebel assault on the Empire's last Death Star. Good description. Of course, the B-Wing was only exclusively in Return of the Jedi, so you do have that. Now, let's move on to this next one. Ramba, the Ewok. This is a better Ewok coin, I will say. You have 2 trees there in the background. Then, of course, Ramba. His face is a little out of proportions, maybe a little too much for his eyes, nose, and mouth they're too grouped together. They should be a little bit more spread out. Not too much more, just a little bit more. Kind of looks a little cartoony, a little goofy. Got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. An Ewok warrior who uses simple Ewok weapons to protect the planet Endor. Now that's a good description of an Ewok right there. Pretty good description of Ramba. Now, let's take a look at this next one. This next one, it's a pretty rare coin. And that is the Lando Calrissian Rebel General. There are 2 Lando coins. This is the one with Cloud City in the background. You got the clouds, Cloud City, and the headshot of Lando. My favorite of the 2 Lando coins, although the General Lando coin is not too bad either. And now, this coin, it just goes all out on the Bespin theme for our original Lando. And the description is, well, of course, you got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Handsome, charismatic, an artist, an old friend of Han Solo who lived in Cloud City and owned the Tabanic gas mine in the Bespin system. Why they had to put system on the end of that? It's on the planet Bespin. Yeah, sure, it is its own system, but moving on, we got Wicket the Ewok. This is a great Ewok coin. Not my favorite Ewok coin, but a great one. You got the ferns, and then you got Wicket just standing there holding his staff. Just a great coin overall. Not really too much to complain about here. However, I will say this, they could have added maybe a tree or 2. Other than that, a great coin. Now, let's read this description. The Star Wars Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Lovable furry inhabitant of Endor who befriended Princess Leia after her speeder bike was destroyed by biker scouts. Great description of Wicket. And that's really it for Wicket. They could have added a few more things, like he distracted stormtroopers or fought stormtroopers. Moving on. Barada, the Skiff Century. This is a good coin. You got Barada there, the headshot of him. Then you got the skiff flying overhead with some people on it. And then you got a Tatooine landscape there. Good coin, good image, good pick overall. I really do like this coin. And one I will have to add to my collection. Now, you got the Star Wars logo. May the Force be with you. One of the many weird creatures who serves as a guard in the palace of Jabba the Hutt. Pretty good description. Accurate description. Should have added more about the skiff guard, but other than that, good description. Other than that, really, not too much to complain about here. Now this next one, continuing with it, well, restarting the Endor theme, I should say. Princess Leia, Rebel Leader. He got the Endor Leia headshot and some ferns and flowers in the background. Yeah, I should have added a few trees in there, but really good. They could have also added maybe some camo pattern to her poncho, but other than that, pretty good. Now let's read this description. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Once Senator and Princess on Alderaan, Princess Leia is a dedicated leader of the Rebel Alliance, uncontested in her struggle to overthrow the Imperial tyranny. Now, accurate description, but let's move on. Another Rebel here, the A-Wing pilot. 2 A-Wings in the background, some stars, and an okay coin, not my favorite, certainly not my least favorite. And it's good imagery. Could be a little bit more detailed, maybe add Death Star 2 into the background. I see a few blank spots where it would fit in good. He got the Star Wars logo, May the Force be with you. Brave Rebel pilot of the awesome A-Wing fighter. Took an active part in successful attack on the new, more powerful Death Star. May the Force be with you. Accurate description. A-Wing, well, probably my second favorite Rebel fighter, second to the Y-Wing. But other than that, pretty good. Now this one, the Imperial Commander, Empire. Good background. The face, could be better. The faces, I don't know, it just doesn't really look like anything from the movie that we saw, at least. He looks a little too old, and yeah, the uniform's good, the background's good. Give it that. Let's read the description. Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. One of the several of the Empire's high-ranking military leaders who reported to the commander of the Death Star, Moff Jared. So, I guess the image on the front is Moff Jared, but it doesn't really look like Moff Jared, to me at least. Moff Jared was young. Now let's move on to the Emperor's Royal Guard. Great image on the front, great background. Got the Death Star elevator, then the catwalk over the huge drop-off into the reactor. Great image. You know, the Royal Guard standing there front and center. Pretty cool. I like this coin a lot, actually. Now let's read the description. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Majestic troops who greeted the Emperor upon his arrival for inspection of the nearly completed Death Star battle station. May the Force be with you once again. And we are moving through this list. 62 coins in all. And now, it's a very accurate description. Wouldn't contest it too much, although they should have added more about guarding the Emperor. We got Teebo. Now this is a great Ewok coin. You got trees in the background. You got the ATSD. Then you got Teebo kind of front and center, holding his little kind of pickaxe or whatever that is. Teebo was my first Ewok, so maybe I'm a little biased, but this coin is very detailed. A lot of flavor to it. I like this coin a lot. Now let's read the description. You got the Power of the Force logo. A large Ewok who, with Wicket, serves as a guide for the rebels on Endor. May the Force be with you. So I guess this is like Wicket's mentor, because Wicket is a very young Ewok. And, yeah, help guide the rebels. Not too much more to Teebo than that. Now moving on to our next coin. This one's fairly rare. Not too rare, though. Pretty decently easy to pick up. The Han Solo in his Hoth outfit. Now, it's a very simple coin. You got kind of the fur lining on the hood of his jacket, the goggles, and why is his mouth open like that? It just looks kind of weird to me. Now let's read the description. Got the Star Wars Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Caring and loyal friend of the rebels, he braved the icy wilderness of Hoth in search of Luke Skywalker. Accurate description. Should have added something about the probe, though, I will say that. Because Han Solo did wear that jacket when he blew up the probe. So, once again, a few more things that could have been added. Overall, pretty good. Now this next one is everybody's absolute most favorite character, the Imperial Dignitary. How would we live without getting this coin? How would we live without getting this character? And I do have to say it's a nice coin. You got the Imperial Shuttle, 2 Imperial Commanders standing there in the background, and then the headshot of the Imperial Dignitary. Not too much more to it than that. This description is going to be very interesting, though. You have the Star Wars logo. One of the evil men who is close to the Emperor and serves as an advisor in his plans to destroy the rebel forces. May the Force be with you. I'll tell you right now that the Kenner executive that decided to give us this character was one of the evil men. I'll tell you that right now, because I would have taken Tarkin a million times over Imperial Dignitary. A pointless action figure. No play value whatsoever. Here we have Luke Skywalker Jedi. And, of course, he is in his X-Wing gear. The X-Wing in the background, some stars in the background. He's in his flight suit, holding his flight helmet. And a great coin overall. Not too much to complain about here. Just absolutely spot on. We've got the Star Wars logo. May the Force be with you. A young farmer who became a rebel pilot and Jedi Knight. He helped lead the Alliance in their battle against the Empire. And now, that's a accurate description. I don't know why they didn't emphasize he's in his X-Wing gear more on this coin. Luke had so many coins, let's face it. This next one, we have the second Lando Calrissian coin, the Rebel General. This one, he's actually came with the General Lando. And you got the Millennium Falcon in the background. You got Lando, just his headshot, and some stars. Not too much more to it than that. I do prefer the Bespin coin, though. It's a much better coin, in my opinion. Now, let's move on to the description. Got the Star Wars logo. The administrator of Cloud City, Lando flies the Millennium Falcon to victory as the rebels destroy the Death Star. May the Force be with you. Pretty accurate. Actually, very accurate. I don't know why they didn't emphasize the fact that he was on the skiff more, but Other than that, pretty good. Now this next one, oh, the last 17 figure. We have a man. Now, you got some of the walls of Jabba's palace, but other than that, it's a pretty plain coin. Of course, you got a man. He's holding his staff with the heads of his victims that he has killed on bounty hunting missions, but that's that. And, well, let's move on to the back of the coin, where we have the Star Wars logo. May the Force be with you. Long-armed creature at Jabba's court called Headhunter. That explains his staff. Because of his staff with 3 heads. Great description. Pretty spot on to what we see. Wish they had maybe given a little bit more background into him. Wish his coins did go into the character's background a little bit more. This next one we have the Tatooine Luke Skywalker coin. Luke Skywalker, Rebel Leader. Got Luke's head, the land speeder, the twin sons of Tatooine, and some clouds, and a nice Tatooine landscape. This is one of my favorite Luke coins. I will say that. Just the detail on this one's great. Not really too much I would change. Actually, nothing I would change about this one. Perfect. Maybe I would add a Jabba's palace, actually. That would be the one tweak I have. Or even his homestead would be nice. Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Once a native farm boy on Tatooine, Luke was plunged into the rebellion when encountering Ben Kenobi and Princess Leia. Accurate description of his transformation from Tatooine to a rebel leader. This next one we got the Imperial Gunner. The helmet of the Imperial Gunner, the stars and Death Star 2 with the laser coming out of it. Good coin. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. Would maybe add some TIE Fighters and X-Wings in a battle scene, but other than that, I like this coin. It's pretty cool. One I will have to add to my collection soon. Pretty easy coin to get, nonetheless. Now let's move on to the back. We have the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. One of the men who controlled the original Death Star's powerful death ray in one single blast. He destroyed the entire planet of Alderaan. And that really sums him up, actually. Not too much more I would add to his description. Maybe something about Death Star 2, but other than that, pretty good. This next one, we have Luke Skywalker's Stormtrooper coin. Luke Skywalker, Rebel Leader. It looks like he's holding up a blaster. He's got you can make out the Stormtrooper armor, I guess, and some stars in the background. Pretty straightforward coin. Not really too much I'm going to complain about. You know, maybe in one of the blank spots I would have added a Stormtrooper running. That would have been cool. But let's move on to the back of the coin. Got the Star Wars logo. May the Force be with you. A young adventurer who rescued Princess Leia from the detention center of the original Death Star battle station. May the Force be with you. Really sums it up. Maybe I would add something about him not being able to see in his helmet, but other than that, pretty good description. We'll say that. Now this next one, another Luke Skywalker coin. We got Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, and he's in his Bespin jacket, his Bespin fatigues. Got some Dagobah trees there on the background. The only thing I would add to this is Yoda's hut, maybe R2 in his X-Wing, and maybe even Yoda sitting on one of the trees. But pretty good coin overall. And, well, let's see here. That's really it for the front. Let's move on to the back. Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Commander of the Rebel forces who rushed to Cloud City to rescue his friends, my apologies. There he battled Darth Vader in a ferocious lightsaber duel. Accurate description. This next one, we have EV99, the torture droid. Great coin. You got the hallway there in the back, the little desk where she works, and EV99. They're pretty front and center. Now, not really. I would maybe add a few droids to the background, but not really all too much I would add to this coin. Now, on the back, we got the Star Wars logo. May the Force be with you. Feared and hated robot who supervised the torture of uncooperative droids in Jabba the Hutt's dungeon. And EV99 actually did first come with the second edition of Jabba's dungeon. So there is that. Accurate description, the description is spot on. Wouldn't change a thing about it. This next one, we got a really rare one. The Star Destroyer Commander. Death Squad Commander, same figure. 3 Star Destroyers. You got the Commander there, the headshot. And of course, there it says Empire. This is one of my favorite coins. I would love to have this coin. I would add maybe a few TIE Fighters, and that's it. It's just a great figure. Now, let's take a look at the back. We got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Pilot of the Empire's enormous wedge-shaped Star Destroyer. One of the largest and most lethal vehicles in the Imperial fleet. May the Force be with you. Once again, I will say it. I know you're getting tired of me saying it. I've said it so many times, but yeah, there you have it. Now, let's move on to this next coin. Chewbacca, the Wookiee. This is a great coin. You got the Return of the Jedi look for Chewbacca, where his hair's parted. And then you got the Millennium Falcon there, flying. Now, I don't know why the movement streaks are in the front. They should be in the back. That's the only tweak I would make. Maybe I'd have, thrown some stars there, but that's really it. And now, let's read the description. Star Wars Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. A 200-year-old giant Wookiee who co-pilots the Millennium Falcon. A loyal friend of Han Solo. Very good description. Wouldn't change a thing. Maybe I would add in he's a sharpshooter or something like that, but great description of Chewbacca. Now let's move on. This is the only coin I do own, Luke Skywalker Rebel Leader. This came with Luke Skywalker in his Endor outfit. Of course, he is riding that speeder bike. He's in his Endor poncho. I would have added a few trees, maybe another speeder bike with a biker scout on it. Maybe some detailing to his poncho, but other than that, pretty spot on. Now let's read the back of the coin. We got the Star Wars logo. Jedi Knight and member of Endor Assault Group on a speeder bike, he fiercely pursued Imperial biker scouts. May the Force be with you. Accurate description of Luke Skywalker, what he did on Endor. Maybe I would say he fought speeder bikes with his lightsaber. Yeah. That is really it for Luke Skywalker Endor. This next one, sticking with the Endor theme, the ATST driver. This is a really good coin. You got the headshot of the ATST driver. Then you got the ATST there, sitting, kind of marching in between 2 trees. And, yeah, good coin. Maybe add a few shrubs, maybe a little Ewok trying to take down the ATST. Not too much I would change, though, on this coin. Once again, I don't know. Now let's read the description. Star Wars Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Driver of the dreaded Scout Walker used in battle against rebels and Ewoks on Endor. Great description. It was also used in the Hoth battle, although not as prominent. So much cooler in Return of the Jedi. I will say that. Now, let's move on to our next coin. This is my favorite Ewok coin. Chief Chirpa, Ewok leader. You got the whole village there in the background. You got a few other Ewoks. And then Chief Chirpa front and center. Great coin, the best Ewok coin. I would change nothing about this coin. It just looks great. It just does. So you have that. Now on the back side, we have the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Chief of the Ewok tribe, a brave lender who guides the Ewoks on Endor with strength and wisdom. Great description of Chief Chirpa. I wouldn't change anything about that either. Now, let's move on. This next, these two here are not really so rare, but, not common either. We have the Gamorrean Guard coin, the Palace Sentry. You have 3 Gamorrean Guards, all 3 holding axes, and just wow. This is, you don't want to mess with these guys. Just looking at this coin, you really don't. Because they're just in the best poses I could have picked for the coin. Of course, you got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Imposing pig-like creatures who guarded entrances to Jabba the Hutt's castle, throne room, and dungeon. Accurate description. You might also add something about the sail barge on there, but other than that, really good description. Now this next coin, going back to the planet Endor, we have Han Solo. And this time, he's on Endor. Now there is a variant of this coin where Han has an S on the end, and it says Hans Solo. And, of course, that's the only variant of this coin I am aware of, though. There may be more. Some trees in the background. Pretty good coin. Maybe you could have added some camo to his trench coat. Does he even have his trench coat on? Kind of hard to tell. The Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Daredevil pilot of the Millennium Falcon. Technically not a member of the Rebel Alliance. He lends his support when most needed. He is a general, so he is a part of the Rebel Alliance. They got that wrong on the description. Otherwise, pretty good and accurate description. Lacking on the accurate part, though. Let's move on. You have the Emperor, the galactic ruler, sitting in his throne. You got the window in the background, some stars, the throne. I don't know what I would have picked. Maybe the lightning. The Emperor standing up with lightning coming out of his fingers. That would have been the only cooler option, the only other option I could think of. But this is just a great coin for the Emperor. Of course, you got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Supreme ruler of Galactic Empire, who enlists Darth Vader's help to turn Luke Skywalker to the dark side of the Force. May the Force be with you. So what the back of the coin reads, very accurate. I do think you hit on the Empire with enlisting Darth Vader. So this coin, we got C-3PO, the protocol droid. This next one, you got C-3PO standing in front and center, R2-D2 in the background. The escape pod, a Tatooine landscape, the twin suns of Tatooine. This is a great coin. Yes. Kenner hit it out of the park with this coin. This fully represents C-3PO right here. I would love this coin. I need this coin. This is a great coin. The Star Wars logo. And it does say, may the Force be with you. A droid who translates millions of galactic languages, including electronic tongues, and spoken by many droids, R2-D2's companion. He's also R2-D2's translator. That's the only other thing I would maybe add in there. Otherwise, pretty great. It's a great coin. This next one, we got Darth Vader. Some stars in the background. He is the Lord of the Sith. And he has some stars in the background. His TIE Fighter. And just the headshot of Darth Vader. Right front and center on the coin. Maybe you could have added a few more details. But maybe a Star Destroyer. Some more TIE Fighters. But that's really it. That's all I would have added. Pretty great coin, though. I got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Lord of the Sith, who personifies the evil of the Galactic Empire, uses powers to seek destruction of the Rebel Alliance. It's a great coin. Good description, accurate description. Not really too much more here. Now for this next one. We have Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight. Now this is just a standard Luke coin. And some stars in the background, Luke's head. That's really it. Now, you want more what I have added to this. Maybe an X-Wing. That's really it. It's another Luke coin. That's all I really got to say about this one. Let's move on to the back. As a brave Jedi Knight, Luke Skywalker gained entrance to Jabba the Hutt's throne room by using a Jedi mind trick on the guards. Got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Accurate description. Now this is the coin that I believe would have come with Luke Skywalker in his Jedi Knight's outfit. This next one, another a Last 17 figure. Han Solo Carbon Freeze. Now this coin, it's a great coin. Very good. I like this coin a lot. Because you have the wrinkles on the coin. Interesting, World Toys, you picked the worst image for this. No, that's how the coin came. It has the wrinkles, just like the Carbonite block does. And Han has his hands up, just like he does in the Carbonite block. Great coin. Solid coin. One of my favorite coins, if not my favorite coin. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Smuggler captured by the bounty hunter Boba Fett and frozen because he owed money to the evil Jabba the Hutt. Good description. Pretty much sums up why he got frozen in Carbonite. Maybe I would have added because of Darth Vader's carbon freezing test. But anyways, moving on. The Hoth Stormtrooper. This is a very rare coin. He got, 2 Hoth Stormtroopers, the mountains, the Hoth ridges in the background, and AT-AT in the background. A great coin nonetheless. This is, I'm going to say it, this is my favorite coin right here. Now what does it say? Got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Trained soldiers who relentlessly led Darth Vader's invasion of Hoth. Really sums it up. These troops, they have the big masks on for a reason. They're all in jackets. They're warmed up because Hoth is a freezing planet. It's an ice planet. Now this next one, we got the class. This is my favorite of the Han Solo coins. You got Han Solo. His blaster is drawn. He's the boarding ramp of the Millennium Falcon is right there, very clearly inspired by the Mos Eisley sequence where he's shooting at the stormtroopers. Very good coin. I like this coin. My favorite of the Han Solos. Of course, I believe it is the rarest of the Han Solo coins. Well, Hoth Han Solo might be rarer. Either the rarest or second rarest. Now let's take a look at the back. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Heroic friend to the Alliance, who is betrayed by Lando Calrissian and then frozen in carbonite by the Empire. Once again, touching on the carbonite topic, maybe I would have added he flies the Millennium Falcon in there, but that's really all I would have added. Now, to this next coin, we got the Star Wars Creatures, very rare coin here. You got Hammerhead, Snaggletooth, and Greedo once again. 3 creatures. It's the Creatures coin. And you got kind of one of the Cantina archways there in the background. Pretty good coin. I like this coin a lot. And yeah, let's kind of move over to the back of the coin. We got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Bizarre looking low life aliens who hang out at local cantinas and are suspicious of all outsiders. The only other thing I would have added is they walk around Bespin and Mos Eisley. They walk around cities. That's the only other thing I would have added. Other than that, spot on. Great description. Moving on, we have another very rare coin here. 2-1B Medical Droid. And of course, you got 2-1B front and center. And the Bacta tank there in the background. Great coin. Of course, it is a very rare coin. But other than that, I like it, and I like it a lot. You know, they picked 2-1B because he is the droid that, you know, he actually has a conversation with Luke, and that is why they picked him, I believe. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Robot surgeon for the Alliance, programmed to perform operations with precision, repair to Luke Skywalker's hand after lightsaber duel with Darth Vader. Very accurate description. This description is very long, but if they could have fit it in, I would have put in helped Luke recover after his encounter with the Wampa. Other than that, very good. You got another semi-rare coin here, Anakin Skywalker. It does say Jedi. You got Darth Vader there in the background. Darth Vader is behind him symbolically because that is his old self. And he has overcome the dark and he's back to the light. You got the Sebastian Shaw version. Yeah, I know you millennials, you Gen Zers are going to say, it's Hayden Christensen, he's Anakin. No, Sebastian Shaw was originally Anakin. The Star Wars logo here. May the Force be with you. Father of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. One-time Jedi Knight and pupil of Ben Kenobi. And, of course, he is back to Jedi Knight. The Sebastian Shaw version, though, it does fit better with the scene, because it just looks awkward with a young guy, and then, you know, the old version of Yoda, and the old Obi-Wan Kenobi. You got the Star Wars sail skiff here. Why didn't they just call it the skiff? And it doesn't even have a sail. This one doesn't really make sense. But you got the plank extended. Luke's about to go into the Sarlacc, and you got the Sarlacc down below. Great looking coin. I like this coin. I want it to go with my skiff so bad, though I don't even think I've ever seen one go for sale. Not the rarest coin, and also not the common. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Jabba the Hutt's desert sailcraft used to transport rebels to the Sarlacc pit. Good description, accurate description. Pretty much does sum it up for you. You know, I got the planetary map for the skiff. I got the skiff. I want this coin to go with the skiff. Same reason why I want the Falcon coin and the AT-AT coin to go with the vehicles. Now, we got Luke Skywalker riding the Tauntaun, the rebel leader. Of course, that Tauntaun is right there. Once again, it looks like he has his mouth open. I don't know why they did this with the Hoth versions of the character. The only character to not get a Hoth coin was Hoth Leia, but Leia did get a few other coins. So, there is that. And let's move on to the back. You got the Power of the Force logo. Rebel pilot who battled the nearly invincible mammoth AT-ATs on Hoth with the highly maneuverable Snowspeeder. Yeah, it's accurate. It's true. I like it. You know, maybe I would have added something about the Wampa, but other than that, very good coin. Now moving on, we got the Princess Leia coin. Princess Leia Boosh. Now this is my favorite Leia coin. You got Leia in her bounty hunter Boosh disguise. You got the archway to Jabba's palace there in the background. Archway in Jabba's palace, rather. But that's really, it's a great coin after all. Now, let's move on to the description. You got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. Princess Leia in disguise as bounty hunter to gain entry into Jabba's palace to save Han Solo. Maybe I would have added something about how she had Chewbacca in custody as part of her disguise. Other than that, very accurate description. Now, yes, we move on to the arguably the rarest and our 62nd coin. Zuckuss, the bounty hunter. You got kind of the background there of the Star Destroyer hallway. Zuckuss, he has his gun up, and it's a parade rest, but great coin. Not really too many complaints. Maybe I would have added 4-LOM in there as well. But wait, this is also known as 4-LOM. I call him Zuckuss. It says Zuckuss on the coin. We're going with Zuckuss. 4-LOM, Zuckuss, whoever. Whatever you call him. But you got the Power of the Force logo. May the Force be with you. As a battle-scarred human bounty hunter, summoned by Darth Vader in his pursuit of the Millennium Falcon and its crew. Great description, spot-on description. Now, thank you all for watching. It's been over an hour of content. That's all 62 coins. Thank you all for watching. As always, if you haven't already, and you want to see more amazing Star Wars content like this, please do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we will talk again soon.